The pace of progress through science and technology is tremendous in countries where these have been developed to help economic growth, while on the other hand, countries like India struggle hard just to keep themselves going. It is a life and death struggle, not for a group here or a group there, but for the nation as a whole, for the 400 million people who live here. Therefore, I want you to feel this human element in our thinking and in our continual struggle and the strain with which we have to face this problem. No doubt we have to look upon the problem from the point of view of our resources. But even more important is the human element involved in it and the deep ferment going on in the minds of hundreds of millions of people. Asia is and will continue to be in an explosive state. The changes that have come over Asia in recent years have unleashed a gait which had for long been kept down politically, economically, and in other ways. Naturally, it does not purpose to behave as when it was in less either in the political sphere or in the economic sphere, but would rather stumble and fall and rise up than be pulled and pushed hither and thither. Above all, it does not want to continue as a starving continent living on the verge of subsistence. There are these tremendous and vast urges in Asia which often make it act wrongly and turn in wrong directions. Let us try to restrain them, but let us try to understand these long suppressed urges which are coming up. In a political sense, the world is divided in various ways: the communist world, the anti communist world, and the countries which may be called non communist but not ranged in any anti group. Yet, the major division of the world today is the division into the undeveloped communities and the industrialized or the developed communities. Whether you talk of a communist state like the Soviet Union, which has become an industrialized state, or the many non communist states which are highly industrialized, though the latter may differ in their politics and in their economic theories, in the final analysis, they worship the same God, the God of industrialization, of higher production, and the utilization of nature's power and resources to the greatest advantage. On the other hand, the underdeveloped countries struggle hard for a bare subsistence, and the realization is growing that if they do not expand their productive capacity substantially to offset the rate of their population growth, they remain where they are or they go down.